Let's go. I really got the feeling today that everything is going my way. Now this is what I'm talking about. Every time I see your smile, it makes me shout. Let's go! Let's go! Nothing's gonna stop us today. Get on the bus or get out the way. We're cruising with the radio on. So turn it up to 10. Here comes our favorite song. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Hello, welcome to another episode of Demystifying Technology with Sam. In this series, we're working on Microsoft Azure, and in this particular episode, we'll be talking about the Microsoft Azure App Service. We started last week defining how to use app services, and this week we're going to continue. When we come back, I'm going to show you how to set up app service and also to show you something that I found out after the last episode next week. When we come back, we're going to get into it. All right, so tomorrow, Microsoft Ignite is happening live in Orlando. Don't worry, if you're unable to make it to Orlando, no big deal. You can actually join the stream online and join any of the sessions. And trust me, there's going to be amazing, amazing stuff. A lot of announcements, new product coming up, lots of sessions on technology, technical sessions on tooling, Azure, Dynamics, Office 365, pretty much any of the platforms you're interested in. So tomorrow, starting tomorrow. So make sure you check that out. Speakers already landed. Rehearsals is happening in Orlando right now. So it's going to be mega. It's going to be awesome. It's actually a whole week long conference and a workshop. Very, very awesome. That's the first thing I want to clear out. Now, the second thing, something big is coming. Yes, something big is coming um, on the stream. Something big. Yeah. So I'm just going to be dropping hints until it happens. So just make, be prepared for it. Something really, really cool and awesome. So that's the second thing I wanted to, get out of the way. Now let's get into it. So today we're going to be continuing from where we started last week on Microsoft Azure App Service. So last week I showed you how to deploy a very simple Node applications into App Service. However, it wasn't showing. So after a little debugging, I realized that, well, it got me there. I realized that the Microsoft Azure App Service doesn't like just raw variables put, especially for ports. For port variables, doesn't just like static or constant values in there. It has to come from how do you call it? It has to come from an environmental variable. So in today's episode, we're going to go back. I'm going to create that very basic simple node application again. We're going to deploy it, and then I'll show you the error. We'll fix it. We're going to set up a CI/CD pipeline. That means that when I make changes to the code, that's going to take effect, in the cloud. Then I'm also going to create deployment slot, and I'll show you how to do kind of like staging, production, deployment, and slot changes. And if we have time, I'll try to keep it to 1.5 hours if possible. If we have time, I'm going to give you a schematic or an architecture of a tool I want to build. I know there might be tools out there already, but I just want to customize my own tool. So I have a couple of channels. So I have like social media stuff, Twitter, Facebook, where else? LinkedIn, and my blog, and I have different channels. So what I want to do is that I want to create a simple web application that allows me to actually update all my channels, all at once. So if it's an article or if it's a blog post or if it's anything I want to put across all my social media streams, I will use that app. I'll, upload the image or video, and then I'll just add the text or the wordings, and then I'll select the platforms I want to send it to, and that should automatically paste it or post it onto those platforms. So I'm going to be making use of all the Azure services. So I'm going to be using app services to host it. It's going to be designed in Node, but I'm going to host it in Azure App Service. I'm going to use functions to do, some of the backend processes to call the APIs and send information. I'll be using SignalR for some real-time stuff. So that is going to be the code or the project that we're going to be doing for the next couple of number of episodes on coding with Sam or Demystify Technology. So the end goal is to build a solution. So I'll be building that every Sunday from now till that is done. I would also make sure that I publish. It's open source, so I'm going to publish it on GitHub. You're free to download it, go fork it or go, clone it, and then play with it or deploy it into your own app service. So it's open source, and we're going to be using the Microsoft Azure DevOps CI/CD platform. So you can also incorporate that into your own solution. So with that said, let's get right into it. So let me go open my so app service, like I mentioned, it's Microsoft's cloud offering of compute for deploying apps. So you can build web applications, node applications, uh, how do you call it, ASP applications, pretty much any web application you want to host, you can put it on app service. Um, it's easy, for you to build apps. You can, it has is this actually is a platform as a service. So you don't necessarily have to worry about infrastructure and all that because that's taken care, for you. So you just have to worry about, scaling options and all that. Now, there's also options for you to deploy to containers. We will do that later on. So what I want to do is let's just start with a very basic application. And once that is done, I'll probably show you how to containerize application and push it into a container in Azure. But for now, baby steps. Let's get it, baby steps. So where is our Visual Studio? Let's. I like to do it this way. I like to open my console. So I always like to open my console and create my directories and do it from there. So uh, to is there? Let's see. Demystify. Spelled wrongly. If you're on the stream, let me know if the sound is okay. Oh, okay, so looks like we have something in there. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and clear that since we're going to start all over again. So you guys can appreciate this. Yep. So I just wiped that. So we shouldn't see anything in there again. Yeah. Yeah, so there's nothing. Uh-oh. Yep, we're good. So there isn't any GitHub or any crazy stuff going on there right now. Uh, yep. And my feed, my my chats windows are open. So if you have any questions, you can put it in there, and I will respond to you. Awesome, thank you, Wise. Thanks for the mic check. I just want to be sure I just want to give you guys some good production. Okay, so let's get right into this. So remember that last week I mentioned that we're going to use Node. We use Node to scaffold, something very basic, something very simple. we'll run it locally, and then we'll try to deploy it onto Azure. We did that, but then it wasn't showing, and I said that there was a little, gotcha there that you need to watch out for. So right here, I think we're going to put it in a demystify. Let's see, what should be a name? What name should we give to this project? Hmm, you know what? Let's go back. Let's go back here. I'm actually going to and call it OmniPost. I don't know, but I don't know. I'm just picking the name. If anyone can suggest any better name, we'll call it OmniPost, right? Omni OmniPost. Shoop. Yep. Oh, I forgot to do that. Yeah. So I actually forgot to do that. I actually forgot to post on my Twitter that I'm going live. Let me do that. Uh, the mystifying at Microsoft Azure. At Microsoft. Pum, 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 pum. Yeah, I just want to tag here. Mm, join me. Let's have some Azure goodness. So, if you've been if you've been following my stream for a while now, I have a Ring doorbell and some Alexa stuff. So anytime someone comes to my door, and I kind of keep forgetting to turn it down a bit. Um, okay, awesome. So here again, this is me. This is me actually going off from my application, going to Twitter to tweet that I'm online right now. And so the end goal of building that application would help me to do that. I'm actually thinking there should even be an actionable message from my email, from Outlook, or actually even from a bot. Hmm. Well, let's see. Well, let's first build the base. Once we build the base, we can actually add any extra things we want. We can create a bot, using a bot framework to trigger the same thing. So because of that, I'm going to try to separate it. I'll separate the whole application. I'll separate the front end from, the API side as well. Uh, okay, thank you, Mr. Odum. Awesome. Thanks to know that Twitch is running awesome today. Awesome. Wise resolution. Yes. You know what? Let me. I'm going to get out of this. When I get into Visual Studio Code, I'll zoom it up. So let's do this. Let's get into code. Once that happens, and Wise, let me know. Yep. So this should look a bit, bigger. It should look a bit bigger now. Yeah, and we are in OmniPost. So the first thing we're going to do, all right, whilst we are here, let me use Control Shift tilde to open the terminal. I'm just going ahead to, initiate the node module. So npm. Oh yeah, and remember, I actually have installed a node version manager. So if I do nvm list, you should see that I have all these versions of Node running currently on my application. It's currently using 10.14.1. So for this project, I think we should use 12.13. You know what? Let's go to the Node site, the Node website, and check Node. Actually, yeah, Node. gs.org. Let's check the very recent one. But okay, so 12.13.0 is a long-term support. 12.13.0. Okay, so let's use that. Let's use 12.13.0. That's it. So I'm going to use nvm use 12.13.0. Yep. And now, yeah, your screen is uh, going blank because it needed administrator privilege. So currently, if I do npm, no, if I do node dash dash version, so it tells you I'm using 12.13.0. That's what I want to use for this project. So with that done, I can do npm init. Uh, uh-oh. Ba-ba-ba-bum. Oh. Okay, npm CLI. Looks like it can't find it. So let's do this. npm install npm CLI. Let's see what's happening. Cannot find program node modules. Okay. Let's see. Pum 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 pum. Okay. Pum. Let's see. Cannot find the module in this local. Let's see something. Uh, pum. Let's clear this and let's try something. npm list. Uh-oh. Oh, it's nvm list. I want to check something. So it set it to 12.13.4. So let's do npm version. Oh, okay. So it actually hasn't loaded that. Okay, so um, previous version. Okay, so let's do this. Let's try this. Now that we have set this up, let's try this here. I'm suspecting that it's clashing with my previous version of Node. So let me do nvm install. Let me just try this. 13. Let's look at what we have here. nvm list. And then let's try to do this again. nvm install 12.13.0. Let's just run it again. And then let's see. So now if I do npm version. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to do this. Let's change to 10.14.1 just to check if that one is properly installed. So nvm use 10.14.1. Yep. And now let's do npm version. Okay, so that's working. So it seems to me there's some kind of conflict between the 12.13.0. So let's do this. nvm uninstall 12.13.0. I just want to validate something, even though currently we're using we're using 10.14, 10.40.1. Because if I do list nvm list, yeah, it tells us that we're using 10.14.1. So I'm going to try to install it again because The reason I'm doing that is I want to get closer to the latest supported version. This could be because of patches and security vulnerabilities. That's why I want to get closer to it. So let's do nvm install um, 12.13.0. So this should download and install 12.13.0 again, and also install the you see npm version 6.12.0. So once this is done, okay, so now we can do npm. No, so let's do nvm list. So now we have 12.13.0. So I'm going to do nvm use 12.13.0. So this should set it to 12.13.0. And now if we do npm, hopefully reinstalling it fixes the problem. And there you go. So sometimes these things happen. And as a developer, you need to be able to sometimes try these things. So once you do it over time, you get the experience. So currently, if we do nvm list, I type it with a 6. So it tells why it's in 12.13.0. That's what I want to do. So now I can actually go ahead and do npm init in the folder omnipost. Yes, so the package name is omnipost version 1.0. So I'll say omni channel social media posting app. This is a description. The entry point, entry point. We can leave it to index. It doesn't really matter. I won't add testing now, but sometime in the stream, or maybe in another project, I'll actually show you how to incorporate test-driven development right from within your application. Or as we're going forward, I can just add it to it and show you how to change the command to do testing. Because it's really, for me, I mean personally, there are a lot of other developers I know who really don't like test-driven development. They don't like to test while they're building application. So I think that uh, for me now it's just starting. I don't want to do that. So Git repository, we've not done this. We're going to initialize Git afterwards. So keywords, let's say omni post comma social media. Yeah, let's leave it. Well, put my name there because I am authoring it. Yep, and this looks fine. So now this adds a package or JSON file to this. I explained this last week that these are modules you can add to it, and that's fine. Now we mentioned that our startup application is going to be index. So I'm just going to go ahead and add an index.js because within our package.json, that is what we specified. As you can see here, the main entry point is index.js. Okay. Now, also, I want you to pay. Oh, okay. Let's do this. Let me just give you the screen so you can see this. I want you to pay attention to some of these messages I'm getting from within Visual Studio. Setting libraries or frameworks actually help you when you're developing applications. Some of them are like linters or code standard and quality like um, frameworks. They help you adhere to setting standards. Maybe you use single quotes, you have to use two spaces, you have to use two tabs, you have to adhere to setting. So there are linters that allow you to do that. In next week's stream, we're going to add all the other, bolts and nuts. But today we just want to scaffold the basic application, put it on Azure, and then instantiate or do set up a continuous delivery and integration project. So just going to leave this. We have our index.js done. So now within the index.js, so now I can actually close this for now. And within the index.js, like I mentioned, we're going to use a very, 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 very simple um, tool. We're going to use Express. I could have used any of it, any other package framework for APIs, but I want to use Express. So again, like I mentioned, if we go to npm and let's do npm express, that's what I want to use. I have two friends who've been fighting, which is good, Express or Happy and whatever that is. So that's their own cup of tea, but I won't join that fight. So we come here. So let's install it. Remember, you're using Node, so you have the package managers out there. So Uh, I'm just going to do this. So npm install Express. So this is going to add Express to my application, which means that I have access to the Express framework to create routes and all that that I want to do. So Wise, is it better now? Is it better now? Is the resolution better since I blew it up? Okay. Feedback is very important. So, whilst we are waiting for that to happen, how about you? If you have any questions so far, uh, let me know. So I can probably answer some of your questions. Yep. I'm I'm ready to answer your questions. In fact, let me set up this. Okay, no, so I'll show you let's see. I'm actually going to show you how to create the how do you call it? To create the tasks because we're going to use Azure DevOps. So I'll show you how to create the tasks to add, okay, you need to include this, include that into it, and then we'll take it from there. Oh, it's pixelated. Okay, let's see if we can go in one more level. If we're going one more level, yeah, that tweaks that pushes this here. Actually, let me try this webinar view. How about this? Yeah, that this puts me there and gives you a lot more room for that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Well, we're just waiting for our package to be installed, and then we can have some fun. Any questions so far? How many of you have tried the endpoint, the endpoint we created on the functions Friday? It's still working though. Yeah, it's still working. And yeah, we'll be adding some pretty interesting stuff. Parade. Oh, this is taking a while. Node modules have been created. It's being added to. Okay, it's not added to our dependencies yet because it's still building it. Okay, we'll keep that waiting. And then, so out of curiosity, if I asked out there, what if I asked what do you want to see me build on the stream, what would that be? So if I asked that, yeah, Wise, native resolution. So okay, so let me explain. Maybe if you're having some lower resolution somewhere, this is what's happening. So I'm actually streaming at I'm trying to stream at 1080p, which is quite high, but depending on the internet connectivity that I have, my streaming setup actually lowers the bit rate as opposed to what my recording resolution is, because it's streaming and is using my internet capacity. So if my internet capacity is not that high, it's going to drop the rate. It's going to drop the resolution a bit and then stream at that resolution, so that you guys can also watch it. You can watch it live. Because if that's not the case, then it means that I either have to record it, pre-record it because that's at a higher resolution, and then post it up. But I'm trying to get interactive, so that's why I do the stream. But if this goes on for a while, I realize I know I'll just record it at a higher bit rate, and then you post it. That gives good quality. Why not? I'll do that, and then I'll just keep the Sunday streams to just a live recording. So just out of curiosity, if I mentioned again that if you are given the opportunity to select or to tell me what you want to see me build on the platform, what would that be? So wise, what I have done is that I have actually bumped my zoom. I've zoomed in again just to see, if that makes a little difference. Mr. Kumaku, welcome to the stream. Yeah, the class captain has joined the stream. Rudy, welcome. Please write the names of talkatives for me so that I'll give them punishment and assignment. Okay, let's try this. I think this shouldn't take this long, so I'm going to close this again, and then and let's do this. I'm going to try to install that again. So npm install express. Yeah, I just want to try that again because it looked a bit funny. It got stuck somewhere, and I felt that was just too much. Because ideally that shouldn't take a long time, to install. Pum 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 pum. Oh yeah, and I think so. The title was still using functions when it's actually supposed to use the Mystify because. Okay, yeah, awesome. So thanks, Wise. The zoom is good. Okay, so if the zoom is good, we're just going to maintain that zoom. Let's maintain that zoom. And actually, let me close this so I can get, a wider space. It still looks like pm install. It still looks like my Express is stuck somewhere. Ah, complete log. Okay, what's happening? Resource is busy, logged. Express delete, blah blah blah. The resource is busy. Okay. Bam. Let's close this, and I'll open this again. Like I'm saying, sometimes these things happen. So if I say npm and install express, uh, it's just so I am sure that. Okay, why is you want to build something with a board framework? Okay, okay, that's noted. That's noted. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah. In fact, the command prompts are holding the tag. Yeah, yeah, that's possibly true. But this is the no terminal. So realize that I'm in this particular terminal. So this is running the node one. It's not holding any directory open yet, but I can actually go wipe. That's why I like to um you know what? I think I should just kill the process. Let's try this again. I'm just going to kill that process. I'm going to kill the process. So you can see that OBS, which is the tool I'm using to stream, is the one that's consuming a lot of resources because I'm directing you know, all my power to it. Console emulator, yeah, I'm going to skip this. Yeah, and we should be fine. And now, let's try this again. And actually, what I would do is sometimes it's quite crazy, but sometimes this happens. So I'm actually going to let me do this. Um, if you've heard about live share, just kind of like hi me in the chat or something, because live share is really a cool extension that allows you to oh yeah, there was a lot of luck going in there. That allows you to, collaborate with people. So I could actually send a live share link to, let's say, another developer friend of mine, and then both of us could be working on this project right now. So he could also be coding and I could be coding, you know. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, thanks, Wise. Yeah. I think so too. I think that's it. So I'm actually clearing. Let me close this. I'm actually clearing that out. So whilst I do that, so like I was mentioning, Visual Studio Live Share is actually a good extension for both Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code that allows you to, share, collaborate on project with with friends, with colleagues and all that. It's quite good. Sorry, I do that. I have done that a few times with one of my my junior devs, just to help them, understand some concept I was teaching them. So we actually paired program using the extension, and you'll be seeing a lot of that particular extension be used on the channel as other people come on. It's crazy today. My let's check this again. Let's see. Our task manager is consuming a lot of memory. A lot. Okay. Hmm. That's strange. Actually, I had this thing happen this afternoon when I tried to delete files, and it's like it's stuck in there. It's not deleting. Let's see. Hmm. 50%. Let's see. And it keeps adding it to, it keeps adding it to it. Okay. Pum 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 padum pum pum padum pum. Okay. Let's see. Let's try something. I'm gonna try something here and see. Uh, Here input dash omni post. Okay, so yeah, in omni post there is no get thing there. Okay, so if I do npm version, that's 6.12 for good. So if I do npm install express, let's see what happens here. Removing express. Okay, so yeah, I think there is a hold either on that. Like Wise suggested, I believe that something is happening to that folder, which is technically preventing that from happening. So let me do this. Uh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, close. Let's close it. Let's close it. Close. Yeah, because I had. That's because I had another one. Another one open. Let's see. What do we have here in Firefox? Okay, I'm just going to close that. I'm trying to relieve some of the stress on the machine just to, you know, yep. So I can file. Yep. So I can rerun that folder. Omni, where are you? Okay, so this is still going to pop up 3. So this is what I was talking about. Let me show you this. So I realized this. I realized this afternoon. Anytime I try to delete, realize that it shows up like with 3. It's the same thing, but it it keeps adding up to it. And this is the very last one. So okay, out of curiosity, let's see this. Repo view. Oh well, let's just create a new and just call it uh multi post. Okay, cmd into this, and then I do npm init in here. Uh, mm, multi channel posting. Index is fine. No get repo. We'll just leave this here. Yeah, I can actually go and update this, so that's not a big deal. Okay, so if I do there here, I have that here, and I do npm install express in here. Let's see what's happening. Ah, this is also stuck. Completed in. Okay, let's close this. Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. Let's see. Could it be? Ah, and that also has hijacked it. Hmm. Let's see this. Ah, node server end task. I have killed you. So let's end this task here. And pum 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 pum. Oh, oh, what just happened? Express is still running. Okay, let's close this. Um, let's expand this and see npm that is locked. Let's do this. Okay. Let's end this node hijack scenario. Uh, let's see. Let me run this as an admin. And let's check this again. Not responding. Oh, and someone is going to say, "Oh, Microsoft." Okay, you know what? Let's see. Let me see if I can. Um, hmm, hmm. I don't want to do this because I'm worried that should I do this and it works, it's going to start some battle between Microsoft and this whole thing about Microsoft and Windows and Apple machines. Okay, I'm going to switch to my Apple machine and then I'll try to do the same thing there, right? So yeah, so let me get I'm I'm going to get my Apple machine running, and then I'll try to do that from my Apple machine, and we'll see how that goes. But when this happened initially, what I had to do was I actually had to restart. But if I restart, we're going to lose the stream. We have to reconnect. So whilst I load, yeah, it looks like my Apple is up. Now let's see if I can switch to that. It might be a bit, how do you call it? It might be a bit small because I have to zoom in and all that. Um, okay. Ba-dum-bum, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum. Uh, let's see this. Okay, so I'll try to. Yes, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, Wise. Yes, I could also use how do you call it? The Linux subsystem. Okay, I could use the Linux subsystem also in Windows. I have that to do it. That's also another perfect example. Actually, I should have that on my desktop somewhere here. Let's see. So, let me actually, yeah, let me flip so I show you that. Yeah, so I have it actually pinned here. So that's the Linux subsystem. So this is it. I could also use a Linux subsystem. So let me check something. Now that with a Linux subsystem, yes. So it doesn't have that. I would have to install, I have to install Node and all that within it, which I haven't done. That's why, because I've been using Windows to do that all the time. So that's why I'm flipping to it. But yes, but that's a good catch. Yeah, I could use that. So let's see if this works. Sweet. You can see you should see my Mac desktop right now. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have um I hadn't set up, I hadn't set up, how do you call it, my um no. Okay. Okay. Where are we? Yeah. Uh GitHub. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Mm, 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 mm. Okay. Uh, okay. So, ah, I keep thinking I'm still working on. Welcome, Ato. Welcome, George Kujo, for joining the feed. This looks this looks a lot more pixelated. Hold on, let me see if I can zoom this out. Okay, let me just check this. Let's see this. I'm going to, yeah, yeah. Okay, let's try this. Let's try it. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, so let's see how big this can be. Uh, hopefully, hopefully this is big enough. We can actually go like a few steps. We can actually go a few more steps just to make it a bit bigger. Yeah, I think yeah, I think this looks fine. So I'm going to well, I'll do this MK omni post. Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, mkdir omni post. We have that cd so I'm in omnipost now npm. Let's see the version I have here. I should have a good, okay, 6.11, that's fine, it's doable. So let's do npm init, and we're keeping omnipost, we're keeping this. I'll just say multi channel posting. Yeah, we'll leave index, we'll leave the test. I'll just put, yeah, okay, okay, and we're good. So I keep thinking I'm working on. All right, so I can go ahead and do npm install. Uh-oh, I missed one S. So this is going to crash on me. Yeah, there's nothing like that. npm, there's a new one, so let's do npm install globally npm. Yeah, it wants us to update it, so I'm just going to quickly update that so we can see that. Okay, so whilst that is happening, oh, let's see, install globally npm. Oh yeah, that could be a permission issue because I'm running it in a different environment and I need to elevate it. Yeah, so this is just going to fail again. Well, yeah, I'll just let it be and then I'll just use what I have. So npm install express. So, and there we go. So express has been stored in this directory. We can go ahead and use that. So now I can go into code and do code dot. And then what is that? Actually, it's a good thing I'm doing this now because um, I I I'm now going to use a Mac to create the application and I'll try to publish it. I'll use the Mac to publish it onto Azure, so you can see that it doesn't matter what you know environment you are in. It could be working on a Mac, it could be working on Windows or Linux, any of it. You can still deploy on the Azure cloud. So that's actually a win-win, a win-win for me. So this is our file. If we check the packages, we see that we have Express now, set up for us as well. So I'm just going to add, we're going to add our index.js, which is what is going to be the entry point for our application. So I'm going to go ahead and then, just scaffold some very basic node stuff. So constant express is equal to require. I need some, and when I start to type, I get IntelliSense because I have the library, created for me. And then our constant app, which is going to be derived from express, is going to be express. All right. Yeah, I'm not syncing anything, so you can go your way. Let me actually bring this up a bit. Yep. All right. So we've set up the app now. So this is what I was telling you. So I'm going to leave this here now. We'll deploy. It's going to fail, and then I'll explain to you what I meant by Azure doesn't like raw port numbers. So I'm using 3000, which is this is supposed to pick from an environmental variable. And the last time we did it, we had problems. So, and that's what I figured out, that it doesn't need this, the port number should be taken from an environmental variable. So let's go ahead. So now let's say that we can create the very basic route, our first route. When you call the application at this endpoint, so the request, the response, um, and let's use arrow function, right? When that happens, what do I want to do when that happens? We'll just say response.send. It's just hello world. Okay, nothing fancy, nothing crazy for now. So I can just say hello Ghana. It looks like today I can't spell. Okay, so if you call this application and the routes, this is what you get. Now we need to tell our app where to listen. All right, so it should listen on the port we've provided, which is 3000. Okay, and then when someone connects, also using arrow function, what do we want to signal when the application is running. So we can say that I can say app, let's call this omnipost is running on port, and then we can include our port in here. There you go. So I'm going to save this. So at this point, we have scaffolded a very basic application, right? So at this point, we scaffolded a very basic application. Now, so the next thing is that I'm going to try to deploy the application locally. I'm going to run the application locally and test everything is fine, and then we'll see how to deploy that into Azure. So let's do that. So again, Control Shift tilde or Control Shift tilde on the Mac. And then I will do just node index.js, right? And this is going to run, it's going to run the application. It's going to invoke the node, the node engine and run the application and technically give me an endpoint or tell me that it's running on a particular endpoint for me to go check that out. So yeah, let's see. Well, so let's open our Chrome tools. And we'll try localhost 3000. I think it's running. So, no, I'm not restoring anything. I'm going to zoom this in for us so we can see that. So let's try localhost 3000. Yep, and there you go. So there it goes. Hello Ghana. So it tells you that it's working. So at the moment, our very basic app, right, is working, right? Is working perfectly on that port. So anytime you call the application on the port, this actually works. Now, when I listened, I should have done console dot log. Yeah, so that's why I didn't see it in there. Right here. I'm going to save this and I'll stop this from running and then we'll call it again. This time we should see, yep, so we should see that it is running on the port and then we can test it again and this is fine. So the application is running, it says hello Ghana. Now let's take it the step further. Now we want to deploy this into Microsoft um, Azure Cloud, into our app service. Let's stop it from running first. And I'm going to add a command here. And the reason why I'm adding this command is that when you're deploying into Azure, you need to add this command into your packages.json file because this is a command. This Node reads, Azure reads the Azure App Service for Node deployment reads this file and is able to know how to execute the application. I realize that when we're testing it in the locally, I type node index.js. So this is the start command, node index.js. It's going to run the same thing. So that's the first thing. I need to make sure that that is done. And like I mentioned, I need to make sure this is coming from an environmental variable or, all right, or the specified port. Okay, but I'm going to leave it this way and we'll deploy and you realize that it doesn't work and then I'll change the code and we'll deploy again. Okay, so right now I think this base is done. Start is entered. So now if I do npm, if I just do npm start, I'm telling it that call the start script. So if I do npm start and I run this, it should run the application and say Omnipost is running on port 3000. So that's just what that script does. So you can add series of script in there and add and pass in commands anytime you call npm. Now it is only so yeah, so just so you know, it is only it is only it is only npm start that you can call directly with npm. All right. Any other script you add in there, you need to call npm run the keyword run before the name of the script. All right. So that's just um, a heads up for you guys. Welcome, Reggie. You joined late, so I will punish you. All right. So with this done, I'm going to zoom out a bit. Let's see, I think I have the Azure. Yep. So I need to make sure I am connected. My Azure instance is connected. If I'm not connected, we can do this. Command Shift P, and then I can do Azure log. Pa, 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 para, pa, 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 pa. Pa, 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 pa. If I say, okay, yeah, so let me just sign in. Yeah, there you go. So sign in. And this will take me to a browser to complete my sign in process for Azure. Pa, 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 da, pa, 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 doo, 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 doo. Yep, so I don't know why mind your language. This mind your language thing has just jumped. Okay, so it says that I'm signing. Let me go back to Visual Studio Code. So now I could see that my subscription is down here. So you can see I'm signing and my subscription is down here. So with that, let me just reduce it. So we are not doing event grade, we're not doing halves, we're not doing function, we're not doing storage, we're not doing logic apps, we're not doing integration, we're not doing stream analytics. These are like all the services I can do, but I'm doing app service. So here I can select this, right? And I have one app service here. Okay. But again, I can use Command Shift P or Control Shift P and do Azure App Service, right? Right? App Service New or App Service adding a connection. So let's go ahead. App service has a lot of things. So there you go. So app service, create new web app. So I'll select this. What's the name I want to give to it? So call this uh, um we'll call this OmniPost. It has to be unique. So there you go. OmniPost seems to be unique. Resource group. I'll create a new resource group and call it OmniPost. And I'm going to use Linux. I want to use Linux to run the Node application. It's not any, it's Node. So you see that if I use Node long-term support, any of the Node long-term support versions I used will be supported in here. Create a new app service plan. Yes, I'll create a new app service plan. I'll call it the OmniPost app service plan. And for now, let's just use a standard S1. All right. And then, yeah, I'll create a new application inside, and I'll call that also OmniPost. I'm just trying to keep it simple. And I want this to be in the East US region. And we have, so all we've done is now actually provisioning an app service from right within Visual Studio running on a Mac, on a MacBook Pro. All right, not on a Windows, because our Windows has finally decided that today it wants to have a break. So we are giving our Windows machine a break. And we are running the entire code from how do you call it, from a Mac machine. So I'm just waiting for the provisioning to happen. Once provisioning is done, we're going to push the app into app service, right? And then we're going to go into Azure from, I can do the rest now from here, from the Windows machine to provisioning that. But then now all the changes I'm going to do all the changes from here. Okay, so now it looks like, so let's go back here. So our app is created, all right. OmniPost is created. Now that it actually is smart enough to ask me if I want to deploy, all right, if I want to deploy it. So I can select OmniPost, right, which is our our application, and then in deployment, let's check. We don't have any deployment yet as of now because nothing has been deployed. So it's just going to spin and nothing is going to show up. So I'm just going to select the app service and I'm going to hit this. So this tells me that I want to deploy to the web app. So I'm going to hit that. And yep, I'm just waiting for this to come back and show me all the deployments that are currently there. Yeah, so I want to deploy, yeah, this, and I'm going to use this app service which we've already created. Yes, 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 yes. So it's asking me, do I want to update my workspace configuration to run build commands on the target server? Yes, I want to do that now. So this, what happens is that now, anytime I make changes, to the application, okay, it's going to deploy. And something strange also has just happened. So my Mac has also decided to go off. So it looks like the gods of Demo Day are not being kind to me today at all, at all, at all. So let's go. Let's try this. I'm going to bring my Azure portal here. So we see that. Let's flip here. Yeah, just so we are sure that if I go to my resource groups, this should have created the OmniPost resource group, as you can see from here. In fact, let me zoom this in. Yeah, so this has created the OmniPost resource group that has an app service plan running on Linux, that has the app service itself and an application inside. So, um, yeah, pretty much that has been done. It's just the deployment that hasn't happened. So let's go to the deployment center. Let's go to the app service and go to the deployment center and see if any deployment has been created. Okay, good. So no deployment has been created at the moment. So what I want now, the next thing I want to do is that we need to add source control to the application because we know that we have our app service provision. We've created a very basic application there. So we need to enable source control in our application so that we can actually add this to it. So let me go ahead here. Let me go to GitHub, connected to my GitHub. Yeah, remind me later. And I'm going to put this into the demystify Azure. Yep. For demystify Azure. Pum 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 pum. Well, or I could just put it right here from within my. No. So let me put it in here. Oh, there was something here already. Poop 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 poop. No, so there's something there. Let me go to the Demystify Azure org that I created and create a new repository. So this is going to be a public, and we are going to call it Omni Post. Say Omni channel social media posting. Okay, so it's public. I'll just leave that and just create a repository. So this has created a repository in GitHub for me, where so technically it's just where the code is going to be saved. All right. So I can now copy this URL. All right. Copy this URL, and as you can see, let's open this up. So as you can see, if I don't have any new repository on my local machine, I could use these commands to do that, right? But if I have, let's say, if I have a local repository, all right, I can then push it. But when we created the application, I didn't create repository yet. Oh, Daniel Laute, thanks for joining. And I see Akosia Boatema has joined. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully we can be of value. We can add value to stuff you want to learn. There's a question that I'm actually posting a question right now that if you wanted me to do something on this channel, what should that thing be? If you can answer that, I'll be very grateful. So, because we already have an existing code, we're just going to go to it, and the mark is back. So, I'm going to open this up, close this, and actually, let's close this. And let's open this terminal. Let's clear this, and then let's code into this terminal instead, because this is the one that actually has how do you call it? Okay. Okay, so let's see. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm just going to do like, I'm just going to do a get init. Yeah, it's that simple. So just like npm init, get init is also going to initialize a Git repository for you. All right, and all it does is it actually adds a git ignore file and some other, some other files that just tells you your application that, oh, so like this application is going to be controlled by source control in Git. So as you can see, it's showing that all these files have changed or been added. Now, to make this work, I'm going to add a file called get ignore. I'm just going to do dot get ignore. And now I can tell it to ignore anything that's coming from node underscore modules. And then I'll save this. Now we take a look at this side. Just keep looking here. You realize that this will change. This 346 is going to change drastically. So we're ignoring everything node modules. So if we go back here and I refresh, yep, and I can see that it's dropped to 4. So these are the only files, 1, 2, 3, 4 files that will be included because we have the git ignore. All right. Now that we have I can't type today. So now that we have git initialized locally, I can now go ahead and actually deploy. All right. I can now go ahead and save and tell it that okay, I want this file to actually show up in GitHub so I can do my continuous delivery. So I need to copy the URL. Um, let's see if I can enable. So I'm using a cool mouse, the Logitech MX Master 2S. It actually allows me to actually copy and paste stuff from multiple screens. So what we need to do is to run a few git commands, okay? And all these commands will do is it's going to tell us that this is where we want to push our files anytime we're running. We make changes. So this is going to be sorry, node modules. Save this. So this is going to be git remote and add. So remote add origin. So we're just telling you that this is going to be the origin of like the parent base for the code repository for our code. So HTTPS GitHub pum, 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 github.com and slash demystify Azure. All right, and front slash omni post dot get. All right, so I'm telling you that this is your master. Then I can say git push, and then we are updating origin master. Uh-oh. What reference were those? Did I miss anything? So HTTPS, I have to get this correct. HTTPS is github.com demystify. Let me see. Let me be sure I'm doing the right thing. So demystify Azure OMNI post dot get. Yes, exactly. Yes, it already exists. So now we'll get pushing and updating the origin is master. Some refs to okay, let's see that. Oh, because I didn't know about this. Okay, let me try this. Let's do initial commit and try this out. Yep, push it. Okay, and let's push this. Has no upstream. Yeah. What do you want to? Yes, to publish this branch. Yes, I want to publish the branch, and that's what I was trying to do in the console. So let's see, and looks like that's done, right? Okay, so now let's come back here. So now if I should refresh this our GitHub page, you see what has happened? Now you can see that the code we just added, they are here. So at this point, our application is actually in source control in GitHub, right? And this is the URL for it. It's in GitHub now. So the code is in GitHub that we can actually make use of. So now let's go to here, and we know the code is in GitHub, so I'm going to select GitHub, and Yeah, that my account suggestion is correct, so I'm going to continue. And for now, let's just use let's just use this. We use the Kudu. So the organization is the Mystify Azure, the is Omnipost, and the branch is Master. We continue. So that is done. We finish. And now it's going to try to build this application for us and deploy it. Now, once that is done, when we run the application for the first time, it's not going to work, like I mentioned. It won't run because um, I need to make I need to make some changes, right? I need to make some changes to the application because the Azure um, doesn't allow entering of ports, node ports uh, as static files. It has to be read from an environmental variable or settings file in the configuration. So just note that. Okay, so it's still running. The build is running. So we'll just stand by. Um, yeah, thank you again for those joining. We're going to be here for a bit more. We started around 8, so 8, 9:30. Yeah, like I mentioned, I'll try to keep it to about 1.5 hours. So somewhere around 9:30, 9:30, 9:45, we should end it just to keep it tight. Okay, so it tells me that it's successful. All right, this has been successful, and the active deployment is initial commit, which we saw from there. So if I go to the overview of the application right now, and this should load the URL, yep, and I copy this URL and I try to run it. Pum, 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 pum. Now, you see it's not working. Yeah, and like I mentioned, this is not working because it's not working because the port that I specified in code. Let me flip back here. This port that I specified, now I think I can close this for now. The port I specified in our index file is just a constant file, all right? But Node hates, sorry, Azure hates that. Azure hates that completely. So to fix that problem, I need to say this is coming from the port is actually coming from process.env.port, okay, or this. So now this change, what I've done is that I'm telling I'm telling Azure that I'm telling the application that the port that you're supposed to run on is actually stored in an environmental variable, or if you don't find anything there, then use a spot. Now, the Azure Cloud is more comfortable with this, all right? So to do that, I've saved it, and you can see that here, Git is telling me something has happened, so I can go ahead and add my commit. You can do this also from the command prompt, but I'll just do it from the UI. I'll just say that changed port to env variable. All right, commit this, and then I'll just push this. So commit is just adding, um, commit is just a way of adding information about the change you have done, and then push is the actual action of pushing it to your GitHub repository. Now it looks like that has been done. Now with that done, let's come back here. Something is going to happen. So let's go back to the deployment center. So now here in deployment center, you see that immediately because of the change I did, look at the commit. Change port to env variable. That was the last commit I entered for the change I made. And now it's saying that the web app is active with this change. So let's just go here, and restart again and see what happens now. Mm, 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 mm. Yep. So whilst that is done, I can go back here to my app settings. Yep, I can go to my configurations, and it's called port. So I can Yeah, I can just check. Let me check the general settings. Yeah, so node long term, long term. There's a command allow. Yep, yep, yep. This looks fine. This looks fine here. Okay, so let's go to the overview. Yeah, because we um, copy this. I'm going to restart this for the change to come up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Abla, for joining. Morale support, very necessary. Very, very necessary. Okay, so with that said, yep, so let's refresh this and then the changes. Yep, so if you look at the changes, it tells you that this was removed and this was added. All right, this was removed and that was added. So awesome. And look at that. Beautiful. So this application is now live online. So if you go to omnipost.azurewebsite.net, you see Hello Ghana. That is the application that we've developed. All right. So right now, if I went back to my Mac and I said that okay, let's change this. This is no longer we don't like Ghana, so let's say Hello Africa. All right, and then I save this. This time I'm going to say what changed. Welcome message to Africa. To what? To Hello Africa. So do this and then push. So this is so what's happening is that it's pushing it to GitHub. All right. I'm not doing I'm not talking about branching or GitHub fundamentals here. If there's a lot of people that need the GitHub fundamentals, if that's the case, let me know and I'll try to do that. But for the purpose of today's episode, I'm not going to go in depth. I can provide resources on how to do that. All right. Now let's come back here and see what happens. So let's go to our Azure portal and go to deployment center. So now you realize that it's fetching. It will tell you that okay, now it's successful. The last change I did was change welcome message to Hello Africa. So it's changed it. So currently our application, if I refresh this, it should change to what? Hello Africa. Ideally. All right. There you go. Hello Africa. So that is how you can do very simple source control management from GitHub into into Azure. And we did all this deployment from Mac machine. So there's no talk to say that you know Microsoft doesn't support Mac or right now you can be any type of developer, any language, and Microsoft Azure is the thing for you. All right. Um, so so now we've completed the core, the basic of the application we wanted to build. We just wanted to have a simple endpoint that returns this. Now because this is just the endpoint, this is just the home route. Um, I would be adding some just a simple UI because this is the landing point of it. So I'm going to add a simple UI, all right, that when you call, all right, when you call the application, you are greeted with that UI, okay? And then as the stream goes on, we'll create authentication pages where you are supposed to sign in so that you have kind of like your own tenant or your own post to do. Or if I like, I will not I'll just not. The thing is, if I don't secure it and people go to this endpoint and they post, it's going to go to my timeline. So I'll put some security in place. I'll put authentication in place so I can log in to say that that's me. And then when I do that, I can now post to my various social media handles. So that means that we're going to use the Twitter API, the Facebook API, the LinkedIn API. Where else? Twitch, if possible. We use a Twitch API. What other platform? Maybe SMS. So maybe I can, when I post something, I would want to send an SMS or email blast to all my followers or people who have subscribed to my channel to tell them that, hey, I posted something new, go check it out. So we'll implement all that. Now, the next thing I want to do is, okay, now we've done implementation from GitHub. All right. If I want to do a complete DevOps operation, I will need to include the Azure DevOps build pipeline instead. So that one I can create boards and add, okay, this has to be done. These are the issues. However, you can still do the same thing from GitHub, right? So right from within GitHub, you can actually create issues that, oh, this is an issue or this is a feature, and then when you do a pull request, you can go fix that issue and then submit it. So that would be for subsequent episode. So it's 9:30, and I promise to keep it in that range. We've been able to do that today. We're gonna continue from where we left off. Now this GitHub repo is public, so today you can go download this code and run it locally or publish it to Azure. It's available for you to use. Um, in next week's episode, we're going to start adding things like the linking, the IntelliSense, the testing. We're going to add all the other nitty-gritties to it and then check that in. And then I'll show you how to add it to Azure DevOps. And we're going to use the Azure bots to create feature items or to kind of create a backlog of items that have to be created. We can do that from within GitHub and then just have people contribute to the project. But I would prefer to use Azure DevOps. So um, that works any which ways. So it's been awesome. Another 1.5 hours of learning. If you enjoy what you see, I would encourage that you subscribe to my channels on YouTube, on Twitch, or even on Twitter. Just reach at me, tweet at me, or just get in touch, and then we can share some more ideas and know where to take it from. But Wise, I'll take on your challenge of building a very simple bot. I'll take that. I'll probably do that as an intermission for you. Um, Remember, tomorrow Ignite is starting, and also on Tuesday we're going to continue on IoT Tuesday. Last Tuesday we deployed Raspberry Pi. Sorry, we deployed Windows 10 IoT Core on the Raspberry Pi. Next Tuesday, I'll show you how to build a simple .NET application, Windows .NET Core application onto it to control some GPIO pins. But until I come your way again next week, this has been Coding with Sam. We try to demystify technology using fun and experience. Till then, catch you again next week. Blessed new week. Have fun, learn something new, share what you learn, and you know, don't be scared to take on some challenges because we learn from challenges. And when you fail, rise up, and try again and keep trying till you get better at it. Till then, adios.